state of play in boxing, UFC, Dennis, the rise of it shows that 18 to 24-year-olds are interested in boxing. 18 to 24-year-olds, and this is throughout magazines, KO magazine, Boxing News, Ring magazine. So, what's the answer?
The logical, ideal answer would be promoters coming together, like I've said. If somebody's invested in a kid, well, cut them into the deal, even if you've got options, so they're not missing out and they're getting a return on an investment.
Yeah.
And it's fighters and promoters coming together and on as more than what they do.
Yeah.
And then more bigger fights will happen. There's more stories. There's more Joshua Furies.
Yeah.
There's more Ben Eubanks type fights.
Yeah.
Even though they're not the same weight, but if public want to see them fights, then they're getting involved, aren't they? So public demands this, and they're going to fight because they're going to earn millions.
Yeah.
So there's more of that. So, and you don't need one every week. You know, if you can do like 3 or 4 a year of those kind of matchups where you go, I'd love to see that fight.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily have to be a boxing pundit. He's right cocky, him, but he seems a right nice lad, but he can fight him. I'd love him to knock his head off. A goodie versus the baddie.
Yeah.
It's perfect theatre, pantomime. You've got to have a baddie, you've got to have a goodie. That's when you create theatre. And that's what boxing's got to do.
Yeah. Do you think that Fury against Joshua does happen, Dennis?
I think if they do that scenario what I've said, it should happen, because Joshua's a massive name still here. Win or lose. Didn't do himself any favours with his antics, and I cringed after that last fight. What are you doing?
Were you in shock?
I ain't sure. I didn't like it, I'll be honest with you, because I think Usyk's got class.
What did you think to his Black Lives Matter speech?
I don't like it, because I think it's just... we've got over that years ago. If you go back in our history, it's all selective. Some people will bring all that up, selective, and they might say, "Hey, but you've never been black and you never had this and that other." I said, well, there's a lot of black people had a lot easier life than I've had. So how do we want to, go about it? I love a lot of black people. I mean, it's all right saying, well, I've got a black friend. Well, we've all got black. There's a lot of no good white people, and we're all individuals. We live in a country where, as if you do well and you graft, you can get up that ladder. There's certain countries out there like Saudi Arabia and China. They absolutely shit on their own people. We were horrible to our own people. We used to starve kids at 8-year-olds so they could go up chimney. And if you've gotten out in 1800s, you were shit on somebody's shoe. So we were horrible to our own. Every country in history has been horrible. So we've evolved. There's nobody in the... Do you know any white or not, somebody who's keeping anybody as a slave now?
No.
The people who's helped stop slavery were the British.
No.
Now I say, British kept slaves.
Well, you've had Michelle here 15 years. She's a slave.
I think the worm's turned. I'm her slave. But no, I mean, I want everybody to get on. It sounds cliche. And I think if you're harp on about the negative, we'll never get past it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of horrible things. We've got to come together, because this country now is so divided, and the people that's made Joshua the name, the majority of them was come to watch him are white anyway. So, and a lot of his friends are white. So it was a stupid thing to say. I think he's admitted it was stupid. I didn't like it. I just wonder about the agenda of these organisations, if it's for a purpose and playing on the black thing or the non-white thing for their own benefit.
Yeah.
Arthur Scargill, for example, during the strikes, he was still having his 3 meals a day, tucked up in bed, not going on strikes, getting his head caved in by coppers. Bit of front when he come out to face them, but we're all publicity. So, there's been hypocrites.
He embezzled hundreds of thousands, didn't he, from other countries, didn't he?
That's what I'm saying. So,
the money went for miners,
so
wasn't it?
it's something like that at play here. So I don't think we want to get into it. I mean, every life matters. Every life matters. And all kids, I love all babies. Every kid's innocent.
Yeah.
Born innocent. no matter what colour you are. It's just what they learn to hate, and that's what I don't like.
Tell me your thoughts, Dennis, on Joe Joyce and Joseph Parker. Where do you think that fight is going? Because a lot of people say it's a pick and fight. Is it worth 20 quid on pay-per-view with no belt?
I'll probably buy it because I'm a boxing man. But if I was struggling for 20 quid, if I was struggling if I had to watch each penny, I probably wouldn't. I wouldn't, because I don't think it's one of them fights. And pay-per-view were always supposedly created where it was, I've got to see that fight.
Yeah.
Now the non-boxing public, I don't think will be that bothered. Whereas if Joshua Fury obviously is pay-per-view, because they're that big a personality. So I think it's on the fence type of fight as regards whether it's a pay-per-view. Yeah, it's a good fight. It's a pick and fight as well. But should it be pay-per-view? Probably not.
Yeah, no.
But I think it's a good fight, and I look at it both ways. I think Parker should outbox Joyce, be faster, but he'll just keep coming and cut the ring down, and he'll probably try to bludgeon him at some stage and get to him. But if he can manage to keep the distance, and he's got plenty of experience, Parker. Dubois were just totally inexperienced, didn't know how to coast, had to fight and run out of gas and then got chinned. Because when he couldn't land his big ones and he weren't going to have an effect, whereas Parker will be smarter, and if he don't put him away, Joyce, because he's going to be hard to put away anyway, he's got enough nous to just say, well, I'll take a decision here.
Don't buy wigs that come off at the wrong time. Maury's wigs don't come off, even underwater. And remember, Maury's wigs are tested against hurricane winds. Don't forget about money. You can afford a Maury wig, priced to fit every budget. So call me now.
Hey, Terry, look who it is. He's begging me to go back in here.
Please.
He's begging me to
Russell.
go back. Come to see me, desperate, mate. Nobody knows what they're doing up there now.
I've lost my way.
We were talking about Joe Joyce Parker there, Dennis. You rate Joe Joyce, don't you?
I like him. Yeah, I think he's not flashy, but he gets the job done, and he's capable of being the heavyweight champion, because
Easily,
you get like such as Usyk. I don't think he'll make a dent on Joyce like he might do Joshua. I think Joyce is a harder man than Joshua, whereas Joshua has probably got more. He's more explosive, but I don't. As a package, I think Joyce may be the best bet to beat somebody like Usyk, who might just walk him down and eventually get to him. Whereas Joshua, like sometimes I thought he was a little bit shot shy.
Do you feel that Joe Joyce, Dennis, might end up like Luis Ortiz? You know, avoided and that, yeah.
Maybe, but with Bricktop, with Frank.
Yeah.
He'll force the issue, Frank. That's one thing I do respect him. But
He's got it all in position now, hasn't he?
He'll force the issue. He'll get him a shot. Whereas Ortiz would have. He's not British, and we're Frank.
Cuban doesn't speak English, but Frank's got Dubois in position, Joyce in position. He's
That's what I'm
got
saying.
Fury.
He's back at the table, isn't he?
He's back, and obviously he's getting Anthony Hard into position. He's going well with him, isn't he?
Yeah. He's.
What do you think about Jack Massey
Respect
against
him,
Jose Burton, Dennis? Joe Gallagher's fighter.
No, I think it's a non-starter. Jose's not rated high enough to get him.
But if he did get a rating,
If he could have got a rating, I'd have done that. No problem. It's just you get kids up there, then all of a sudden they want to dictate who they're fighting. Like, whereas when they first come, they'll fight anybody. And then so I've had a bit of policy. I've had a bit of that with Kevin, and oh, I don't really want to fight him. And then when I say, oh, you didn't want to fight him, oh, I didn't quite say that. I go, well, what did you say? I got him in for an IBF final eliminator for World, Master Nick, because they didn't want to lose the ranking with the IBF and that belt. And then when I get it, oh no, a bit soon. Verbally, when I asked him about it, oh no, I can't remember saying I knocked it back. So there's all stuff amiss with that, and that's why Frank's a master at it. Get everything in writing. What do you say?
Well, I said that when I first started here because I said that there's too many people doing things on handshakes and loads of fallouts.
I mean, I've got a lot of stuff on you know, I've been a lot better at it.
It don't mean that you're a bad person. It's just to protect you, isn't it? Like if you had, hey up, pal! If he were here now, it'd be an handshake. But now if you made a comeback, you'd have to say, Ross, you big pal! And you've got to sign this because I've got to protect me because you might get your head turned.
Yes.
It happens. So this is to protect me in my investment. That's all. Shell the type it up. You make them sign it.
Well, what I ideally wanted to do, and what I should have done, and Jason should have done for us, is that a lot of these fighters that Kevin didn't have, probably had about 30 fighters at the time. Now he's got hundreds. Now a lot of the time he were getting kids to sign with him, saying I can get you on Fight Zone. Kinnock did it. So I should have said at the time, any fighter that we sign, I want to co-manage him with you. And maybe they wouldn't have been able to manoeuvre and they'd have had to conform and play the game and be honourable.
Well, do you think that he'll be going on Fight Zone now then? Is that a fallout with you? Or is his son Kevin?
If there's odd fighter, yeah. I mean, when I sit down with him, I get on all right with him. But he's not as honourable as me. Salmon. And I'll tell him to the face.
They might say that about you then.
Well, there's only... have they ever put their hand in the pocket? I mean...
Do you owe any money then? It's in boxing. It was been a boxer.
Do I owe anybody? Oh, like?
I don't know. I'm just asking. Have you ripped anybody off in boxing?
Ooh.
Have
You
you made
nasty.
anyone then? Lell them.
Never, ever gone out my way. And I've never rinsed anybody. And that's why when Clinton... he never said it really to my face, but like I've heard that he said, oh, I heard that Dennis had more out of this fight than I got, or this and that one. Anyway, I went and sat down with him once and explained to him why I got, and this was from, I think Pogson was filling his head with crap. And I explained to him what happened, and he'd been doing some checking up on me, which hurt me. And
I can't see that.
He did. He did. And these people question. I went, Clinton, I loved you as a family member. I know my family did. My mum, bless her, when she loved Clinton. And like, I ripped Clinton off, and he was like, absolutely, it broke my heart. And he's got people around it hard, and he should have had this, and he should. All people who's never put their hand in their pocket once, and freeloaders wanted to come to big fights with us and walk to the ring with us and want to do this with us. Never ever put an ape of effort, nous, and front that I put in to him. Nobody could have done that job what I did to him. Barry Hearn said it. And going back to what you said, you can, fighters fight, and I respect any fighter who gets a ring, but they can fight for area titles. Nothing wrong with I got an area title. I only had 2 or 3 amateur fights, but I've got these kids who you think, he's never done it. Well, some of these kids who are pro, they've done more than I've done. They've turned pro and they've won either an area or they fought for an area. I haven't, but I'm good at making things happen. And I proved it. I've got a track record for it. And you look around this office, this is just part of what I've done. So, yeah, I'm proud of that. The money comes and goes, but the memories are here forever. Why does Roy Jones still respect me and ring me, or I could ring him any time? Look at him, absolute legend. He knows what I did for Clinton. He saw what I was trying to do when I gate crashed.
Well, he's your mate. He's been over to your gaff at Jersey, hasn't he, Roy Jones?
Yeah, but he stayed friends with me because at that time he weren't coming into England or UK, and he seen the job I did with Clinton, and he thought, yeah, I can see what he's trying to do for Clinton, and that's what I did, and manoeuvred Clinton, sent him over to Philadelphia, got Tim Witherspoon. I brought Tim Witherspoon over here, just to get his mentality where we got at, where he weren't phased and he could handle himself in any situation. I did an amazing job with Clinton. the problem with Clinton is either daft or he don't want to acknowledge what the job I did for him completely. I worked on all aspects of him and trying to build him and mentoring him, apart from him being able to fight. He wasn't brilliant at anything, but he was very good at just about everything. But not exceptional at one thing. And a tough kid and never refused to fight.
You mean like an 8 across board on everything?
Yeah, that kind of thing.
A bit like Billy Joe.
No, Billy Joe, more flashy, got more ability than Clinton.
Yeah, but
Movement-wise and flashy, but like, had he got Clinton's steel and this, that and the other, not quite. But I love Billy Joe. What a talent. Different fighter completely.
waste of talent, in my opinion.
Different fighter completely. Billy Joe got some right class.
Would he have beat Clinton at super middle? I don't think he would. I think Clinton runs over him.
I think Clinton would have probably been too strong.
When I've seen Billy Joe in fights,
Good
where
fight,
he's
though.
under pressure, I thought Eubank put it on. That was first chink in his arm at Eubank when he fought him, because he was a bit raw. That's when I thought, he ain't as good as what they're making out. And after that, I thought they were very carefully selected fights for him.
Yeah, I like Billy Joe. I can't really.
You tried to sign him, didn't you?
Yeah, between me and
Bought
Frank
him a watch and everything, didn't you?
Yeah, did. I'd signed David Price, hadn't I, and Tony Jeffries. He had time with me, and then I lost this ITV4 little deal I'd got when something had gone wrong at ITV, and then they pulled some contracts, so I lost that. But I've had some good fights, some good nights, haven't I?
Josh Whale were a good night when he won that belt, wasn't it? Over in Sheffield.
Well, there's another one, Josh. Look how I looked after him. I got him money for his gym. Helped him get money for his gym. I was going to get him a WBF on the boat. Right?
Oh, we fell out over.
I know, but like, what did I do wrong to them? All I
You
did.
were trying to put a fight on a boat, Dennis, in the middle of a pandemic. It was a bit bizarre, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't banned at the time. They weren't shutting down. And the reason why it didn't happen, if you get your facts right.
Couldn't get Popeye the sailor man to captain the ship.
Who are you then, Bluto? You know you're more like fucking Olive. Is that COVID thing yet? Otherwise it'd have been probably WBF champion. Now people go, oh, WBF, oh, it's a nice strap to have. And Joshua wanted it, his dad wanted it, and then because I couldn't deliver it, it weren't my fault. I didn't invent COVID, did I?
Perry Howe's got the WBF, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's one of your favourites, isn't he, Perry? Don't you like Perry off?
I don't know about Perry Howe.
He's improved a lot, that kid. Did you watch his fight? He's improved a
I
lot.
watched it, yeah, and he has improved, so I have to give him
So
that.
let's
And
just
I hope
leave
he
it
don't
at
win a Central area, because I don't fancy diving it down.
Listen, we've got plans, me and Pez and Robert Riley.
Good
Showman. He's a showman, sells himself, playing his trade, having a go. How can you knock a kid like that? You
Why
can't.
is Perry Howe running around in tracksuits with his name on when Michael Jordan weren't doing that? When
But why do you walk around in a flashy day-glow red tracksuit?
Fantastic, don't it, Mom?
Well, he probably thinks he does. Put the teeth away. Piranha.
Only jealous. Dennis, who's your favourite boxing promoter in the world?
Bob Arum.
He's still your hero, is he?
I don't say me hero.
Don't you like Don King no more? Because I thought you were mates with him.
I've had fun, a laugh with Don King, but as regards the full package again as a promoter,
You wouldn't trust Don King, would you, Dennis?
Is
it true, Dennis, when you fought Clinton Woods? When Clinton Woods fought Tarvis Cloud, and you got contract, you read it about 50 times because it were a Don King show.
Yeah, and asked other people to read it.
Do you believe then that Frank Warren saying that? Do you believe Frank? Because he says he didn't read the contracts. It was nothing to do with him. It was mainly. I don't believe that. Do you?
No, Frank's
too shrewd.
Too shrewd. And
he'd want to learn off that contract. If it were genuine, he'd want to pick up on it.
And he's got history with Don King, so.
Yeah, so I don't believe that, Frank.
No.
We don't believe you, Frank. But we're warming
I don't.
to you. We don't believe that.
I don't believe it. No, but
Who do you think's the most exciting talent, Dennis, to come out of that country at the moment from the last Olympics?
In this country,
Yeah, I know what you're going to say. Go on.
Dalton.
Ben Whittaker, I thought you were going to say.
No,
You like Dalton Smith?
I like Dalton Smith. He's a Sheffield Wednesday fan as well. I'd have liked to have been involved with him. I've said it numerous times. I think Chris Smedley did a great job, and he's never mentioned Chris, and I haven't seen him for a while. But as regards Dalton, other people take the plaudits for that. I think he's gone on, but from what I remember, and Chris used to tell me, and I used to watch odd amateur fighter Dalton's. Chris Smedley got that kid going and on the right road, and it's a shame that Chris is not still involved because I think he deserved to be. And the only reason I did anything with Liam Cameron was because of Chris, because of my relationship with Chris. Once Liam did the dirty on Chris and walked away and went to Ingalls, I went, I don't want to work with him anymore. He asked me to work with him. I said, I'll work with him because of you. And I got him a Commonwealth title, but we all know what he did. Lied to us and spoiled his career. But not the full package. Whereas Dalton, I think, potentially is, and I think I could have played a great part. We're both from Sheffield, got on well. I don't see his dad, Bert. I've never had a wrong word with his dad, but I think, we don't need anybody. Well, I think I could have played a part for Dalton, and I could have helped him be the full package, and maybe he is anyway. But my track record speaks for itself. And like I was going back to, I think it was Chris Smedley got him going. Somebody tell me otherwise, but I believe it was Chris who got that kid going, and he's never been mentioned. What do you want to say to that?
No, I can believe that because Chris is not one of them to shout about, and I didn't know that, but I know Chris.
Ask him.
I know he'd done a bit with Dalton. I didn't know he'd done as much as what.
Well, he used to tell me about Dalton all the time, Chris.
Yeah.
When he was amateur.
What about this kid he's got now, this Quinn Ahmed? I reckon he's red hot.
I don't know. I mean, I'm just telling you what I know
about
his doing. Like I said, I don't agree with some of the stuff that Chris does or done, whatever it is.
Will you speak to Chris again, Dennis?
I've never had a wrong word with him. I don't like what he did when he lied to me about Liam. And he might.
Have you ever thought that Chris probably a trainer should side with his fighter, stay on his fighter's side?
Yeah, they can all say that. I do what's best for my fighter. Well, if you don't do what's best for everybody, it don't work. Because without it working for me as a manager and a promoter, I can't help you. If I'm not helped, I can't help you because I'm going to be weak. And if I'm weak, I can't make you strong. But if I'm strong, I can make you strong with me. And on. It makes common sense easier. I'm doing what's best for my fighter. That's a cop-out. Of course, you've got to do what's best for your fighter, but you've got to do what's best as a team.
Yeah.
And that's why me and Clinton were, I used to help him train sometimes, and I'd sometimes take him on pads, and I'd like mentor him, make sure that everything were all right. Like I say, his medicals and everything like that, and his private healthcare. I looked after him like my family. Up and beyond what other promoters and managers did, because that's what I'm in game for. And then to get questioned about how much I earned him a lot more money. He's a millionaire, and if he says he ain't, he's lying.
I think that's about it, really.
And all these woodpeckers round him.
Round who?
Mate, don't allow a woodpecker round him, does he?
Who?
Clint, does he always send a drink? Is he a bit tight?
Oh, Clinton?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know who his mates are.
I know one or two of them. Like, they were all there on when we were riding high, and they loved the ride, and I looked after them all. They've got short memories. I've lent kids money who's round him, and they forgot a lot of money. Am I bitter about it? No. Do I sound bitter? Maybe. I don't know if I do, but I've got a nice carry on. I've created some amazing memories, but they don't just get handed to you. I've earned everything what's in this room. I've earned the right to be involved and achieve what I've done with my name at the top of these posters, because I've earned the right. to do it. I started in a garage, and I've put my money where my mouth is. I've gambled. Some I've lost, and we don't talk about that. But you only talk about the wins and go, oh, look what you did there. How many losses have I had? How many losses? You know, I've lost recently to get kids up there. Massey, Anna Rankin, Nathaniel Collins. Now they're trying to riddle out of that one. Nathaniel Collins, but I've spent a right few quid on him, and he's fighting Nick Ball now. A Warren fight. That's going to be a cracking fight. That if he comes through that, we've got a superstar now. People don't fancy him. I think he's got a.
They will if he wins that.
Got a great chance. I think it's going to be a cracking fight. I think it's not a foregone conclusion. He's up against it, but if anybody's going to beat him, I think Nathaniel will. But we should be together on that, not somebody going behind my back and trying to do a deal and cut me out in it. When I spent like 40 or 50 grand on Nathaniel.
Have you got any messages, Dennis, for people who are subscribed to Fight Zone? Anybody who's watching your fighters?
I think we've been a bit lean this last couple of months or so, but we're regrouping it. It's getting rebuilt. We're going in a slightly different direction, but it's still going to be there. We've established ourselves. We're going to be doing the odd fight abroad, and we're going to develop some kids. We've got some good kids. I'm going to look after them. I'm going to offload a few what I don't feel as though I've got a connection with, and they might go on and win something in their own right. But the one thing I will promise a lot of kids is that anybody who's with me, you've got a great chance of going and winning something. If I believe in you and we have a connection, I've proved it time and time again. I can get kids up to the pinnacle, and kids who a lot of people have said, and we've mentioned a few today, who aren't supposed to get to the world title status. Well, I've helped them get here.
Who's been most exciting fight you've worked with, Dennis?
I suppose you've got to say Ricky.
What about David A?
David A were exciting, but Ricky has the package and the connection and the buzz. Ricky's the one, but obviously my favourite ever fight while it lasted were Clinton, because he were like my family.
Yeah.
And that's why when we achieved it and what we'd gone through and we'd lost his dear pal, it meant so much. And that's why it hurt me so much, some of the stuff I had coming out, that it questions certain things, and it's not right.
Okie dokie then. Well, listen, I'll let you get off for your plane.
Fly me to the moon, let me play amongst the stars.
Do you remember when you got up at Peter Fury's 50th and sung that?
Yeah, did he enjoy it?
He says, bloody hell, I didn't know Dennis could sing. I said, Dennis likes to steal every show wherever he goes.
I feel like Tyson likes to sing song.
He does, yeah, but I couldn't believe it when you did that. We're 8 shots.
What, in a good way?
Well, I just remember Peter Fury just going like, what's going on here?
It's just, if I had a sense of humour, I like to think I have anyway, I don't take myself too seriously all the time, do I?
What, like when we went to Bulgaria and we had a fight?
Yeah, and I made you look like Gorbachev. But if you can't
I choked
laugh...
you out, Dennis, and you bit me, did you?
Yeah. Even as a kid, I'd teach little kids in gym, if I were just taking them and manoeuvring them around ring, what's my motto? Whatever it takes.
What, even biting?
Of course I'm going to buy you. I'm not going to draw blood because I don't know where you've been. So I'm just
going green, Dennis. I thought he's going green and I better ease off.
You're having a bit on, Russ.
Hey?
Listen, get that other weight put on and we're going for it. Oh. There's a few people out there who would like to see me stick one on you.
There's a few who want to do it, but they don't throw a punch, do they?
They don't, love. I don't know how they've managed to avoid it.
I know why they won't throw one,
but surprise me and you won't come to blows, Russ.
We can do it anytime you want, Ron. Let's rock and roll.
Oh, I'm picking on an older man now. See, and I'm trying to swerve this.
I've only got 8 years on me.
Am I only 8 years older than you?
Yeah, I'm 10 times better than you.
You get fan mail, I don't.
I get knickers sent now, don't I?
Well,
that'll be Steffi, won't it?
Yeah.
At least they weren't soiled.
Oh, Gail Russell.
I don't know who sent them, but I'd like to know who it is. I'd like to see a picture of her.
Do you think Steffi Lowe will ever make it up with you?
Nah, you know, no. I don't want to make it with him. I just don't like
Life's
him.
too short.
No. No.
I'll see him next week and we'll shake hands.
Just get him to... I thought we were going to get at it in waffling over with Mick Whale. Mick goes, oh, Steffi Bull's just pulled up here. I goes, well, get him round back here. He went, all right.
Do you know what? Yeah, both of them two kids are class. And I want to
go and look at that, what Rico did for that thing for Peter, didn't he? It was amazing, wasn't it?
He's class. And Terry, I want to get him on doing a bit of commentary with us.
Yeah, fight zone. Yeah, I know that. Yeah, I've heard. Yeah, so he'll like that.
I'm going to get him on at some stage on one or two of these, but Terry, just give me a little bit of time. We're just regrouping on certain things. There's one or two little things that haven't gone to plan, but we've had a meeting this morning, and we're strategizing, doing a structure and a restructure. And we're going to be fine.
Yeah, that's good. Okie dokie then, Ron. Nice to see you. You're looking well.
I'm pleased to say, Russell, apart from everything, you're in good health.
Yeah.
And I don't want to happen to you, pal. Stop being as personal, but keep doing a job, but don't
it's
be as
hard not
personal.
to do doing this, isn't it, really? I think so. You should see some of the emails I get, Dennis. Shouldn't you? Should have a look at them.
I don't want to look because I bet they're evil.
Oh, some of what?
I bet they're evil.
Oh, you've never seen anything like it. You've never seen nothing like it, honestly. But you know, it's part and parcel of it, and I'm pretty thick-skinned now to it. So, but I am all right about it. So. Well, that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. Big Ron Lyle said, "Yeah, you haven't got balls to come up to my office." Well, we've come up with a camera crew. We've done the business. He's all right. He came to see me when I was Dean, so you got to give him respect for that. I've known him 7.5 years now. Life's too short, so that's how I look at it. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. We're going to put it into 4 parts. Well, obviously this is end it video, so you'll have seen it in 4 parts, and we've jazzed it up a little bit. So I hope you've enjoyed it. All right. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment. I need to know what's your opinion on the video and if you've enjoyed it. All right. Any vile comments or anything like that, they will be removed, just so you don't waste energy. All right. You take care. Peace out. Peace out.